My father left me an empty safe deposit box. Then the dust pattern exposed my brother. My father left me one key and one sentence. Open box 312 before you trust your brother. That was all. No speech about love. No explanation. No dramatic letter sealed with a ribbon. Just a brass safe deposit key taped inside a folded index card and my father's handwriting, weaker than I remembered, warning me about the man who stood beside me at his funeral. 3 days after we buried him, I went to the bank. My brother Derek came with the rest of the family because he said he wanted transparency. That was the first lie of the morning. Lydia stood near the marble wall, exhausted from grief and already tired of conflict. Aunt Helen kept dabbing her eyes. Derek wore a charcoal suit and the careful expression of a man pretending patience with an unstable relative. The bank manager led us into the vault room. He slid box 312 onto the steel table. I used my key. He used his. The lid lifted. The box was empty. No envelope. No will. No letter. No final explanation from my father. Just gray, metal, stale air and the sound of my brother laughing once through his nose. Well, Derek said Dad always did love making Nathan feel important. Aunt Helen whispered my name as if I had embarrassed the dead. Lydia looked away. The bank manager asked if we needed privacy. I did not answer. I was looking at the bottom of the box. Oh, because empty is not always nothing. Empty has edges. My name is Nathan Brooks. I was 41 years old when my brother tried to steal our father's final wishes and made the mistake of believing a blank space could not testify. For 20 years, I inspected security systems, banks, warehouses, pharmacies, municipal offices. Anywhere people placed trust behind locks and forgot locks are only the beginning. My job was to ask who touched it when what the system logged and what someone hoped the camera would not see. My family hated that about me. They called it obsession. They called it paranoia. By adulthood, the family had a sentence ready. Nathan always sees patterns where normal people see life. Derek used that sentence like a tool. He used it when I questioned missing checks, when I asked why a developer had been calling him, and when I told Lydia that Dad sounded afraid. And that morning at the bank, he used it before I even opened my mouth. "You're doing it again," he said softly so the bank manager would hear concern, not contempt. "You wanted Dad to leave you something secret, and now there's nothing there." Aunt Helen sighed. Well, Nathan, your father was sick. Maybe he forgot." I leaned closer to the box. A clean rectangle sat in the dust. Not dramatic, not obvious. A faint outline where something flat had rested long enough for dust to gather around it. There was a smear toward the front edge, and near the left hinge, a tiny paper fiber clung to the metal. I took out my phone and photographed it from 3 angles using the flashlight low and sideways. Derek's smile faded. "What are you doing?" "Documenting the box. It's empty." "Yes," I said. "That's the part I'm documenting." Lydia looked at me then, not convinced, but listening. Derek stepped closer. "Nathan, stop. You're making a scene." I looked up. The bank vault was quiet enough to hear the fluorescent light hum. No," I said. "Someone already made one." That was the first time Derek's face slipped, only for half a second. But I saw it. My father, Walter Brooks, built Brooks Metalworks out of a rented garage, 2 used lathes, and a temper that somehow never touched his hands. He could be sharp with words and impossible about measurements. But his hands stayed steady. He taught me that work was a form of memory. Every part held the record of how it had been made. Derek never understood that. Derek liked finished things. Contracts. Photos. People shaking his hand. He could charm clients my father had scared and speak in whole paragraphs without saying anything measurable. Dad used to say Derek could sell rain to a drowning man. Derek left the shop twice and came back twice each time, saying he wanted to help the family. Each time he left with money introductions or forgiveness. I stayed because someone had to. When Dad's cancer spread into his bones, I drove him to appointments, fixed the ramp labeled pill bottles, and sat through the long silences sick men create when they do not want their sons to see fear. Derek visited on Sundays. He brought coffee in expensive cups and stories about potential buyers for the land behind the machine shop. "You should think about liquidity," he told Dad once. Dad looked at him over his oxygen tube. "I think about payroll." The land was the real prize. Brooks Mill Lot 7A, 14 acres between the old rail spur and a planned highway extension. Once the county revived the project, men in clean shoes started showing up with surveys. Dad refused to sell. He said the land was the shop's back lung. Derek said control did not matter if you could cash out. That was the argument beneath every polite family dinner in Dad's final year. I thought Dad was only worried about Derek pressuring him. I did not know he had already built a trap. After the bank, Derek wanted everyone to go to lunch. That was another sign. Guilty people love normal plans. I declined. He put a hand on my shoulder. "Nate, don't spiral. Dad left you a key to an empty box. It's cruel, maybe, but not a conspiracy." I removed his hand. "You opened it." His eyes widened in practiced hurt. "Oh, excuse me. You opened it before me," Aunt Helen gasped. "Lydia," said Nathan. Derek took one slow breath. "This is what I mean. You need someone to help you through this." There it was. Not anger. Concern. He was not defending himself. He was diagnosing me. That was smarter. If he looked offended, people might wonder why. If he looked worried, they would look at me. So I did not argue. I took my photos. I asked the bank manager for the access history. He said politely, "Our records show no customer access in the last 18 months. Derek smiled again. I looked at the manager. Customer access is not the only log. His politeness thinned. "I'm sorry. There are vault entry logs, employee dual control logs, key assist records, exception reports, maintenance access, box removal timestamps, camera retention indexes." His eyes changed. Not fear, recognition. People who work inside systems know when someone else knows what the system is supposed to have. "Oh, I'll need a formal request," he said. "You'll get one." From the bank, I drove straight to Mara Ellison. Mara practiced probate litigation, elder exploitation, and financial fraud. She had silver hair, black glasses, and a way of listening that made lying feel physically unsafe. I showed her the key, the note, the photos, the clean rectangle in the dust, the paper fiber. The bank's short access statement. She looked at everything without expression. Then she looked at me. "Do not go back to your family with this. I need them to know Derek." "No. Right now they expect you to look unstable. Do not give them a grieving man with a flashlight and a theory. Give me records." That sentence saved the case, because I wanted to fight. I wanted the satisfaction of being believed before the work of proving why. Mara took that away from me. Good lawyers protect you from your own need to be understood too early. She filed requests that afternoon. Full bank access logs, vault camera retention, safe deposit authorization records, any power of attorney documents used, employee override reports, visitor appointment calendars, notary journals, hospice records from Dad's final 2 weeks. Derek responded before the bank did. He sent a family email with the subject line, "Moving forward peacefully." I knew it would be bad before I opened it. He wrote that grief had placed unusual emotional strain on me and that the empty box had triggered unrealistic expectations. He hoped we could proceed with the documents Dad actually left. Lydia forwarded it to me separately with one line. "Is there really something there, or are you just hurting?" I stared at that message longer than Derek's, because Lydia had not attacked me. She had asked the question everyone else was weaponizing. I typed back, "Both. There is something there, and I am hurting." She did not answer for 2 days. The first bank packet arrived on day 4. The short access log matched what the manager said, no standard customer access in 18 months. But the dual control vault log told a different story. Box 312 had been removed from the vault 6 days before Dad died. Time 2:17 p.m. Authorized by temporary agent Derek Brooks. Assisted by Vault Supervisor Evan Kerr. Reviewed under addendum to durable power of attorney. Derek had opened the box while Dad was still alive. While Dad was in hospice. While Dad was receiving morphine every 4 hours and sleeping more than he spoke. Mara read the log once. Then again. Oh, now we have a door. I said he used Dad's power of attorney. He used something claiming to expand it, Mara said. Find the addendum, find the hand that helped him. The addendum arrived in the second packet. It looked official. It stated that Walter Brooks, being alert, clear, and fully consenting, granted Derek Brooks authority to access safe deposit boxes, financial records, and estate-related storage. It was notarized by Ralph Sutter, signed 2 days before Derek opened the box. I knew before Mara said anything, that's not possible. Dad's hospice chart from that day showed increased confusion, breakthrough pain, and heavy medication. Nurse comments noted patient unable to sustain legal conversation. Family advised to avoid complex decisions. Unable to sustain legal conversation. The addendum said alert, clear, and fully consenting. Mara placed the 2 papers side by side. This is not a contradiction, she said. This is a crime, arguing with a nurse. Ralph Sutter, the notary, became our next door. He was not just a random notary. He had notarized land option documents for Caldwell Ridge Development, the company trying to buy Brooks Mill Lot 7A. He had also billed consulting hours to the same law office that represented Caldwell Ridge in early acquisition discussions. Derek had not acted alone. That made him more dangerous and easier to trace. People who conspire with outsiders create more paperwork than people who act from impulse. Mara subpoenaed communications connected to Caldwell Ridge. Meanwhile, I visited Dad's house alone. I had avoided it after the funeral because every room accused me of being too late. In his workshop drawer beneath a rusted caliper, I found a folded note. Nate, if you are reading this, I did not find a cleaner way. I am sorry I had to make proof outlive me. That was the first time I cried since the funeral. Not when he died. Not when the box opened empty. Then, because I understood something I had not wanted to understand. My father had known enough to be afraid. Not everything. Not the whole shape of Derek's plan. But enough to know that once he was gone, my word would not be enough against my brother's performance. Walter Brooks did not leave me a mystery because he loved drama. He left me a process because he knew dead men cannot object in probate court. The next layer came from a place none of us expected. A small law office 30 miles away. My father's old attorney, Andrew Vail, had retired years before, but his firm still held sealed client instructions. After Mara sent the bank log showing Box 312 had been accessed by Derek before my appointment, the firm contacted us. Walter had left a sealed file with a trigger condition. If Box 312 was accessed by any person other than Nathan Brooks before Nathan's scheduled opening release Packet B contained 3 things: a copy of the True Trust Amendment, a folder of financial concerns regarding Derek, and a video. Mara did not play the video immediately. She looked at me first. Do you want to watch it alone? Number. You should be sure. If I watch it alone, I'll hear only my father. I need evidence too. So she played it. Dad appeared on screen thinner than I had allowed myself to remember. His voice was low, but his eyes were sharp. Nate, he said, if the box is empty, don't grieve the paper. Follow who needed it gone. I pressed my palms against my knees. He continued, I put a packet in Box 312. If you received it, it would have told you to come here. If someone else took it, they took bait. Mara paused the video. Bait. My father, dying in pain, had still understood Derek better than any of us. She pressed play. The packet in the box contains a land transfer summary for Brooks Mill Lot 7A. The real lot name is Brooks with an S. In the box packet, I removed the S. Brook Mill Lot 7A. A small mistake. Small enough for a thief in a hurry. Big enough for a court. He coughed. The video cut briefly, then resumed. If Derek is clean, the box will not be empty. If the box is empty, he will use what he stole. Find where the missing S travels. Mara stopped the video. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then she said, "Your father didn't leave you an empty box. He left your brother a trap." Caldwell Ridge produced documents 2 weeks later after Mara threatened sanctions. Derek had not emailed them from his personal address. He was smarter than that. He used DB Advisory, an LLC formed 11 days before Dad died. The LLC offered succession consulting for a potential sale. The email went through a lawyer who tried to claim privilege, then failed because the documents furthered fraud. Attached to Derek's email was a PDF titled Land_Control_Summary_Final. In the PDF, the property description read, Brook Mill Lot 7A, no S. Where the stolen bait. Mara smiled for the first time in the case. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a door unlocking. Derek had used the decoy packet to secure a consulting advance of $180,000 from Caldwell Ridge through DB Advisory. The developer believed Derek could deliver family cooperation and pressure on probate once Dad died. The money hit Derek's LLC account 2 days after he opened the box. He spent it fast, private loans, a tax attorney, and a jewelry store. Men like Derek spend quickly because spending makes the lie feel real. There was one more gift in the metadata. The PDF had been scanned on a home printer labeled Derek Brooks Office Jet. Derek had changed the email address, changed the company name, changed the path. He forgot the scanner name embedded in the file history. That is the thing about people who think they are smarter than records. They clean the surface and forget machines remember being touched. The probate hearing took place on a rainy Monday. Derek arrived early with his lawyer and a tie my father would have called expensive enough to be insecure. Lydia sat behind him at first. Aunt Helen sat beside her whispering prayers that sounded like warnings. I sat with Mara. I had not spoken to Derek since the bank. He turned, once looked at me, and gave a small, sad shake of his head. Still performing. Even now, his lawyer opened by describing family grief confusion and my unfortunate fixation on an empty safe deposit box. He said my allegations had delayed probate-harmed business continuity and threatened the value of family assets. Then Derek testified. He was good. I will give him that. He looked wounded, not angry. He said Dad had been worried about my judgment. He said I had become controlling near the end. He said he opened the box under legitimate authority because Dad asked him to gather estate materials. He said the box was empty when he opened it, too. That was new. Mara leaned toward me and whispered, he just moved from denial to explanation. Good. No, when she stood, the room seemed to tighten. She began with the dust. Not as proof. As the first question, she showed the photograph of the clean rectangle. This does not convict anyone, she said. It tells us only that something rested in the box long enough to leave an outline and was removed before Nathan Brooks opened it. Then the bank's short log. No customer access. Then the dual control vault log. Box removed 6 days before death by Derek Brooks. Aunt Helen stopped whispering. Then the addendum. Then the hospice chart. Mara read the 2 lines aloud. Alert clear and fully consenting. Patient unable to sustain legal conversation. She let the silence do the work. Then Ralph Sutter's notary journal. Then his connections to Caldwell Ridge. Then DB Advisory's formation date. Then the $180,000 advance. Then the PDF sent through the developer's lawyer. She projected the property description. Brook Mill, Lot 7A. No S. Derek's face changed. Not enough for strangers. Enough for me. Mara asked him, did you send this document to Caldwell Ridge? His lawyer objected. The judge overruled. Derek said, I don't recall. Mara displayed the metadata. Derek Brooks Office Jet. Does your home office printer use that device name? Derek swallowed. I don't know. Lydia stood up and left the room. For 1 second, I thought she was leaving me. Then she came back and sat behind me. A small movement. A whole childhood crossing an aisle. Mara played the video last. My father's face appeared on the courtroom screen. No one breathed normally after that. Oh, Dad said Derek always thought Nathan was slow because he was quiet. He never understood quiet men count everything. Derek looked down. Dad continued, "If the empty box is in court, then the paper did its job. The will is not in that box. The truth is not in that box. The box is only where the thief had to leave his fingerprints in time." The video ended. Aunt Helen cried then. Not politely, not softly, like someone old enough to know she had helped the wrong son by doubting the right one. Oh, Derek tried one final line. Nathan could have planted this. Mara turned to him. He would have needed to plant the dust 6 days before he knew the box was empty, force you to open it with a forged addendum, make you form an LLC, convince you to accept $180,000, embed your scanner name in the PDF, and persuade your dying father to record a video predicting the exact spelling error you used. She paused. Or you stole the envelope. That was the end. Oh, not legally. Legal endings take paperwork. But everyone in the room felt the machine stop. Derek was removed as executor pending investigation. Oh, the forged addendum was voided. The Caldwell Ridge transaction was frozen. DB Advisory's accounts were restrained. Ralph Sutter was reported and later became a witness against Derek to save himself. The true trust amendment was admitted. Brooks Mill Lot 7A moved into the family trust with sale restrictions, and I was appointed managing trustee for the land and company operations. Dad had not wanted me rich. He had wanted the work protected. That was fine. I never wanted to own everything. I wanted to stop Derek from selling what Dad had built to prove he had never needed it. Derek called me once after the hearing. I did not answer. He left a voicemail. "You think you won. Because Dad trusted you, he didn't. He used you. He made you his little lockbox." Oh, for a moment the words landed. Then Lydia said he's still trying to make the proof feel like punishment. I saved the voicemail anyway. Old habits. Evidence first, feeling after. A month later, I returned to the bank alone, not to open box 312, so to close it. The manager, Evan Kerr, met me with professional regret. He had accepted documents that should have been questioned. He had treated Polish as authority and sickness as inconvenience. "Oh, I'm sorry," he said. I believed him. That did not make the mistake disappear. Inside the vault room, box 312 looked smaller than I remembered. The dust had been cleaned, the paper fiber removed, the clean rectangle gone. For a strange second, I missed it. That little shape had been the first voice my father had left me. Not the key, not the note, the absence. Oh, I closed the box. Then I drove to the shop. Brooks Metalworks was loud in the late afternoon. Machines running, compressor coughing, Jonah Pike cursing at a stuck fitting near Bay 3, oil heat metalwork. Dad's office still smelled faintly like peppermint lozenges and cutting fluid. In the top drawer, under a stack of old payroll envelopes, I found another note. This one was not sealed, not legal. Just Dad. Nate. All right, if this all came to pass, I am sorry. I wanted to tell you everything plainly. I wanted to sit Derek down and make him face me while I still had breath. But sick men are easy to discredit. Dead men are easier. So I built a thing that could speak after me. You were never paranoid. You were listening to what careless people leave behind. Protect the work, not the money. Oh, the work. Oh, Dad. I sat in his chair until the shop lights clicked on. I thought victory would feel louder. It did not. It felt like grief with paperwork attached. My brother lost his role, his money, his polished version of himself. Oh, but I lost the simpler possibility that Derek had only been selfish, not cruel. I lost the chance to ask my father why he did not trust me with the full plan while he was alive. Then I looked through the office window at the shop floor. Jonah handed a young apprentice a micrometer. Lydia stood near the front desk, learning payroll. because she said someone in this family should understand where the money actually goes. The work continued. That was what Dad had protected. Derek thought an empty box meant there was no evidence. He was wrong. Emptiness has edges. Dust remembers weight. Locks remember hands. Money remembers where it ran. My brother stole the envelope because he thought paper was the truth. But my father knew better. Paper can be stolen. Signatures can be forged. Logs can be hidden. Families can be convinced that a quiet man is only seeing ghosts. But a pattern cannot be stolen once it begins. It moves from dust to timestamp, from timestamp to document, from document to money, from money to motive, from motive to the one person who needed the box empty. Derek opened box 312 before I did. He left it empty. That was the fullest confession he ever made.